Jaylene The Terror. This girl was when I was trying to learn from my mistakes from 7th grade, back when I used to have a lot of crazy autistic habits, like, making sound effects, saying the wrong things at the wrong time, giving them a reason, to call me quote unquote special ed. But the great thing about this girl was very unbiased, non-judgmental, and very, very understanding. You see, I had this reputation when I was in 7th grade where I was like Minetta from My Hero Academia, and I was fucking Odd Delarovia from Golden Lyoko. I asked every single girl out in school and made a bad reputation for myself. So what happened was this: Jaylene comes my 8th grade year, and my goal is to get with her my 8th grade year, and so many people cock block me from her, it's not even funny. And the great thing about Jaylene was I knew I can get her. At first chance, I knew I can get her, but something was in the way and I didn't know what. And the thing about Jaylene was, she came at a time where we had haymakers like Justin, Elliot, and many other heads in 8th grade year that really gave me some competition, really made me think about my life and how I need to improve. So here's the thing: when I meet Jaylene was around the same time where I meet Elliot and Justin is cracking up jokes and Elliot is just on standby looking cool like one of the popular kids. But me, I am slowly progressing, and I am slowly getting better, and I am slowly ripping off the rep I had in 7th grade by not being so girl crazy, not being so eager to ask every girl out, by socializing with everyone. And a good example of that is when Justin had the whole scheme about me being immature, and he offers me a gummy worm in PE, and he expects me not to refer it to her penis. And everybody is making fun of me for being this guy who is literally laughing at the most immature shit and literally getting flexed on. Like, Eris laughs at a word. He doesn't even laugh at build-up or structure or any of that. It's like there's no punchline. All I have to do is say penis. And literally, Jaylene was there during that time. Jaylene was there when these guys were just literally taking advantage of the capping, and and she thought that wasn't cool. She thought that Justin was taking advantage of the fact that I wasn't special ed. And so the thing is Jaylene has a golden cleavage, and everybody talks about her cleavage in 8th grade. Jaylene was Asian, short, with a nice forehead, with a fat forehead, and literally everybody in school was anticipating me to go out with her at the end of the year, and I was slowly getting better and better and better. I was getting better at all my personal hobbies. I was getting better at fighting. I was getting better at dancing, and Justin just kept on making jokes, and everybody kept on, taking advantage of my position, and nobody actually was an advocate for me. And literally, so here's what happens. Towards the middle of the year, two guys that drove me to the side told me that I should get this one girl that literally flipped the script on me when I was in 7th grade, saying that she'll go there and dance with me. But then I got her number, and not only is it a fake number, she hits me in 7th grade saying that, oh, I just meant it as friends. It was the one yes out of 1,000 no's that I finally got in 7th grade, and all of a sudden what they told me was to go back to her and to pretend that I was obsessed with her, because they wanted me to lower my standards. And plus, that girl was with the shit, she was kind of like a little bit thuggish, and she looked like a dick sucker. So what happened was this. Okay, so that scheme fails because I'm in my head, I'm like, why do I like this girl? I don't, because they keep on putting emphasis on this one girl. And now that I'm older, I realize that whole thing was just a distraction to get me away from Jaylene. So me and Jaylene and Justin and Elliot all have PE in the same period. And literally all we talk about is, this guy shit, this dumb shit we see on television. This the classic shit, but Jaylene always pops out, the girl who I got rejected by. It's either the conversation goes like this: the girl who just rejected Eris, or how we're gonna make fun of Eris, or, stupid shit that we made up. They say I needed more experience before I start getting at these girls, so here's what happened. Jaylene was there when I had my bad phase, when I said dumb shit, so she looks at my relationship with Justin, and I can tell, like, we're both on this hype, and literally so many fucking distractions. I met too many different people 8th grade year, too many different styles, too many different ethnicities of people to literally not expand my mind. And it was so expanded, everything was so good. Like, we were talking about YouTube videos 24/7 back when YouTube was a thing, So the best part about this video is this shows you why it wasn't my fault why I couldn't end up with Jaylene, and here's why. I literally proven myself over and over and over again, and these guys resorted to gaslighting, like literally flexing the fact that they play sports and I'm an anime nerd. And there was this one guy in the arm wrestle. He's like, "Oh, come on, Aries, come on," And so I kept on trying to arm wrestle him, and he pins me down every single time with ease. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this shit no more. So this guy goes to his side, and he's all like, "That guy wasn't trying, right? That guy wasn't trying. He wasn't trying." I'm like, I know. Within every single time he repeats the same fucking message with autism, saying that he wasn't trying. The same guy did weightlifting and shit. And literally, I kept on saying that, and Jaylene understood that. Jaylene understood every single thing. Every time I was going through something in school, she stood up for me. Even in silence, I could tell she stood up for me. The running gags go crazy. Eris, you're a dancing fool. We see you dance every day. Oh, I just want to look at Jaylene's boobs irritating me and shit. But simultaneously, wow. While I was getting better, I had so many running gags in 8th grade. Like, the whole shit when they said you need to be mature was so funny. There was this girl named Victoria who stood right in front of me and Matt Bitchy. There was this guy named Matt Bitchy that literally scolded me my entire 8th grade year, trying to flex on me while I'm trying to get with Jaylene. And here's how the PE worked, so the semesters changed and I have to align at a different place in PE. So Matt Bitchy is right in front of me, always criticizing me, saying, "Oh, you're in special ed. Oh, you don't know how to fight this now. I've already proven that. If you already go see a Justin the Fallen video, I've proven them wrong time and time again." But this guy was just literally the worst, literally flexing on me, saying like, "Hey, I grabbed Jaylene's boobs in science class. Hey, I was grabbing her ass, this and that." It's telling me all this shit, I believe him, but I'm like, okay. So with me, Victoria, and Matt Ritchie, here's how it goes. Matt sits in front of me, I sit in the middle, and Victoria sits in the back. Now when we go do our routines for PE, every single time we do jumping jacks, I'll always turn back and look at Victoria's titties bounce. Right back in 8th grade, every single time we would do jumping jacks in PE, I would just literally turn my head back and look at those big titties bounce. And Matt used to start dying. Every single time, and she would stop and look at me for a second, but she let that shit happen off for months and months on end. Literally every single time she knew it was coming, and I looked back every single time. So literally, me and Matt Bitchy are so fucking funny because every single time I look back, he starts rolling and dying, and that was so fucking crazy. So I got my first warning by one of my favorite teachers, and he told me, "Yo, I gotta stop, this and that." But it was so fucking funny because that shit was going on for so long, literally a fucking semester of me looking at those titties bounce. But all jokes aside, I have to say that Matt Bitchy had this wonderful gaslight with me, because I used to have a running gag that I was autistic and I didn't know how to fight. And so basically, after all said and done, I stopped looking at her titties bounce while I do jumping jacks, and I start talking to Matt Bitchy because he starts trying to get her and shit, and she said stop, you know. And so I'm all like, you know what, Vicky would whoop your ass. And so Matt comes back and saying, he's like, Eris, it's you who would get your ass beat because you're the one who would fight a girl because I'm autistic. Well, this is the same guy gloating to me that he was feeling on Jaylene's titties in math class. So it gets down to it. It was gaslight after me proving Matt Bitchy wrong, after me proving Justin wrong, after me proving Max Chance wrong, after me coming up, me being the Naruto Uzumaki of junior high. Everybody literally praising me, getting the shit thrown off my reputation, literally making it. And it came down to the end of the year where I'm finally able to ask Jaylene out, and due to all the harassments she said I would, but I have a boyfriend. And you know what that let me know? That already let me know I won, because I'm like, if it wasn't for stupid ass people like Justin and Matt and all those motherfucking jocks that thought they knew what they were talking about, I finally found someone and they ruined it for me. They fucked it up for me, and I could not literally stress that enough. When she said I would, that's all I needed to know. And literally, I come back to one of my old partners that basically cockblocked me, and they start relaying the message like, you know, Eris, you never get a girl, this and that. So they're trying to pull up that whole movie shit that this is a running gag. Like, no, because I have character development, there's no such thing as that movie shit in reality. And literally, the same guy says, well, at least this time she said she would, but she has a boyfriend. That automatically let me know. I could tell he was crying inside. I could tell all this work I put in to get with Jaylene just went out the water because of them and their stupid ass gang stalking and their stupid ass running gag that the special ed kid couldn't adapt. But literally, I love Jaylene. She literally made one of my 8th grade stories so much better because I didn't need approval from her. I knew right then and there was cool. It even got to a point when these guys told me to go grab Jaylene's butt, and her friend came up to me and she said, you know what, that gotta stop. I don't care what your friends are telling you. So you know what, that literally is the whole reason why I couldn't get out of her, because there was too much pressure. Too much of our reputation was literally being put at stake every time I tried to get at a girl in general. But because it was specifically a slim Asian girl, same height as me, literally hella pretty eyes, every fucking thing you would want, and she was specifically made for me. And literally, I couldn't do it because of the goddamn gang stalking from all these other kids. But she rejected Elliot, she rejected everyone. She wasn't going out with no one. She was specifically reserved for me, and it got fucked up because of how much peer pressure they put on her, how much they tried to get in her pants, they didn't work, and it all happened because I gave myself a chance to win and they didn't. So this is Jaylene The Terror, a mood trick video.